Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world today. Anyway, it's your girl, Miss McCoy. Today I'm here to introduce to you our very own podcast show. It is called When the System Fails. We came about this show some years ago. This show came about because my firstborn son, Curtis McCoy, some of you know my story, he was reported missing at the age of 2 years old. And it went from missing to murder. We're not going to dig into that right now. We are going to tell Lil Curtis McCoy's story. Today, we're going to touch on this presidential election that's going on. That's crazy. I get tongue-tied when I talk about it. It's so crazy. But we're going to touch on that. It's so important. We picked this subject specifically for our first show because we have days, people. I'm talking about days. The urgency is fire. It's urgent, very urgent. And we need you to tune in, not only tune into this podcast show, we need you to share. And we need you to get up and get out and vote. We need you to get up and get out and grab somebody and find out if they need anything to get their paperwork right, because we need them also to vote. We need the old people, the young people, the middle-aged people. We need our people out here to stand up for our country because, baby, if Trump get in this seat, we screwed. Me and my husband was talking about moving. I'm not going to tell you where we live, but we definitely was talking about moving if Trump get in the seat. But I have faith. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. So get out and vote, people. And remember, share. Talk about this podcast show. Let's talk about it. Mr. Wooden is going to be giving us some input, his insight on things and what he believe and feel about this presidential, these candidates we got up for president. So let me introduce to you Mr. Wooding. So let's introduce Mr. Wooding. Mr. Wooding, you're up.
How you doing, Ms. McCoy? First of all, let me just say that I've never in my life, I'm talking about ever, dictated, what a person should do in terms of their faith or in terms of their political standards. Um, I believe in people have a right to do what they want to do, think what they want to think, believe what they want to believe. I believe that God gives you a right to that perfect will, if for lack of a better phrase. So I didn't want to take that away from nobody. I didn't want to push my thoughts and opinions on people. I would just let them be who they want to be. But in this case, I have to speak up. I have to say something because I don't understand how people is going back and forth about whether or not they want to make a decision on who should be elected as president of the United States. Hello, I remember, unless I'm confused, you tell me, when it was like you couldn't even have a bad driving record and run for the presidency. You couldn't have any type of charges, whether it was traffic violations or, drug violations. You couldn't run for president. Now, a lot's changed since then, obviously, because this man is a convict. He's a criminal. His attitude, his personality, his character, everything about him is speaking to these negative traits. So how could you not know what he's about, what he's for, what he's going to do? Tyranny is in his personality. It's in his character. Dictatorship, power, control. It's all in there. What are we doing? Why are we sitting here debating about what decision we're going to make in terms of who should be in and who should not? Come on. And then they want to talk about Vance. And they want to know why this man changed his attitude about Trump. Why did he change his concept about what he believed in, whether he would run for this man, whether he would back this man, support this man, whether he would, even want to flank this man? This guy told you straight up, nah, not doing it. You know why he did that? Because he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth back then, and he probably thought Trump wasn't going to win, because he knew the character of Trump was somebody that shouldn't win, just like we all know. But now, he sees it a different way. He sees that Trump have an opportunity to probably make it. So what would you do? Wouldn't you change your story? If you was corrupt like they is, wouldn't you say to yourself, hello, what do I stand to gain? What are you talking about? What do he stand to gain? Why is people asking, what do Trump running with Vance? What does Vance have to gain? If Trump wins, Vance becomes vice president of the United States. Hello? Vice president. So yeah, he gonna say, nah, I was wrong about that then. Because he's in a position now. Now he's in a position to be in the second seat, highest seat in the land. The second highest seat in the land. The man stands to be the vice president of the United States. So guess what? God forbid if something happens to Trump. If he get incapacitated, if God forbid somebody murders him, if he get impeached, if he fall asleep, or anything happens to him that jeopardizes the presidency, guess who becomes president of the United States? Vance. Do y'all not get it? What are y'all talking about? Stop playing. Don't let these people do this. It's time for us to stand up. You know what I mean? It takes all of us to get it done. I've never done this before. I've never asked people to vote this way or that way. But today, I have to do it, y'all. I'm sorry. God forgive me. I have to do it. We have to make a decision. We have to do it now. It's less than a month left in this whole presidency election thing. Less than a month. Get out there. Don't do it at the last minute. Do not wait and then decide, when you get there, they tell you you're not registered. Or there's some kind of issue or problem that you got to overcome. It's going to take you a month to do it. That means you're done. If it's something that you need to do right now, today, and it take you 30 days to do it, guess what? You're not in time. You can't vote. Hello. People are afraid to vote. People don't know that they have a right to vote. Find out what your situation is, people. Hello. If you got a criminal record and you have one, do you have a right to vote? Investigate that, people. Are you in a different state than where you registered at? Do you have to go back to that other state and register? Or do you have to become registered in this state? Do you need identification in this state? Or can you use your identification from the other state just to verify you so that you can register and vote in this state?
Can you use your identification from the other state just to verify you so that you can register and vote in this state?
These are things that you got to find out. And you got to tell your family to find out. And your friends to find out. And the strangers to find out. I'm talking to people. Never done it before. I'm telling you, never in my life. I never told my wife, kids, friends, nobody how to go. You know what I mean? If you a Dallas fan, you're a Dallas fan. And you're my man, so I'm going to support you in that unless you're playing my team. It's different then. You understand? But I'll never dictate that. Yo, let's come with me. Yo, let's be a Bill. Let's be a Giant. Let's be a Jet. You know what I mean? Nah. Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. Religion. You want to be a Buddhist? You want to be Muslim? You want to be Christian, Baptist, Evangelist? Whatever it is you want to be, hey, that's fine. That's between you and God. You understand? But God put us in a position to make differences, to make decisions. Right now, you cannot say, well, I don't like neither one of them because neither one of them is for me.
In genere si dice che non votare è brutto, non è buono, si deve votare e si deve scegliere il male minore. Chi è il male minore? Quella signora o quel signore? Non so, ognuno in coscienza pensi e faccia questo.
So neither one of them is for you. So tax breaks ain't for you. So high prices ain't for you. So criminality, crime ain't for you. Weapons, guns, violence, police brutality. Abuse of authority. Not just police. I'm talking about the workplace. Anything. Racism, it has nothing to do with you. What are you even talking about? Somebody stands for more for what you represent than the other one. And if you don't vote, you're voting. You're voting for the one who got the biggest numbers because you didn't vote. You are still a vote. You are still a factor if you don't vote. You understand? If only one person votes for Trump and everybody else says, I don't like nobody, I don't like neither one of the candidates. One person votes for Trump and everybody else in the entire world says, I don't trust none of them, I'm not voting. Trump wins. Ladies and gentlemen, how hard is that to understand? What are you doing? What are you thinking? You have to come out. Oh, well, if I vote, it's not really going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference if you don't. What are you thinking? Where's the psychology of it? Huh? Where is it? Are you really, really, really making a conscious decision on this or that way or this way, left or right or wrong? What is it? You have Republicans that are going against Donald Trump. And I'm not talking about Republican people, regular people, you and me. No, I'm talking about people from his cabinet, people from his party, governors, senators, vice presidents, people who cannot allow this man to get back in office. I heard somebody say he could not step foot in that presidency, in that White House again. They said he could not step foot in there. His own people.
Look at his record.
He was the
to
president,
see
and
that
40 out of 45 of his cabinet members will not support him. His vice president will not support him. His generals will not support him. He was the president. He was terrible. They're saying we worked as close as we possibly could to him, and we won't fire him again.
He already changed laws in a derogatory way, fired judges so he could rehire other judges so that he can get his way. We already know he's for the billionaires. We already know that he want to get into office and attack people. He told you this.
Yeah, I think we have to be really honest with ourselves. General Mark Milley is a professional. He knows exactly what he's saying. And as you said, it's not like he's particularly candid with the press. This is the guy that stood beside Donald Trump when Donald Trump was like, can't we just shoot the protesters? And he was like, no. He's like, can't we just shoot them in the knees? And he was like, no. And they ended up putting tear gas on them and they went and did the Bible photo. When we think about fascism, we have to remember that there are so many signs that are actually happening. There's weaponized nationalism. There's scapegoating of minority groups. There's mythology of a better time back in the day when we were great. There is obviously the cult of the leader. There's the weaponization of the Justice Department, the cutting down of the free press, right? And now he's talking about locking up political enemies. He's talking about rounding up people and putting them in camps. These are all fascist behaviors. And the sooner we stop pretending that that isn't a word that could come to America, the better off we are, because this is a real fear that people should have. And if someone like General Mark Milley tells us that this is a real thing, then we need to listen.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and severe cuts to Medicare, Social Security. Donald Trump may try to deny it, but those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
And if you're president again, will you lock people up?
Well, I'll give you an example. The answer is you have no choice because they're doing it to us. You know, I've been hitting him much differently than I have because I've always respected the office. And then when they indicted me for nothing, I said, now the gloves are off. They do this. They've already done it. But if they want to follow through on this, yeah, it could certainly happen in reverse. It could certainly happen in reverse. When this election is over, based on what they've done, I would have every right to go after them.
His family came on TV and said, I don't want to say he's a racist, but every time something happened to him, he blamed black.
Look, there's a moment, you're young, someone vandalizes Donald Trump's car. Okay, so that's the setup. And then about this moment, Fred, you say N-words. Mm-hmm. This is you. I recall him saying disgustedly, look what the N-words did. And then you add, quote, Donald hadn't seen whoever did this.
That's right.
So it's twofold. It's one, that he didn't see who did it. He makes an assumption about who it is, what color they are, and then refers to them as the N-word. His campaign says this is a fabricated story. I just want to give you a chance to respond and tell me how this story has lived in your life.
It's the absolute truth. And I remembered as if it were yesterday. He had a black roof. He had a roll of electrical tape, taping up it's probably the slash was about this long, two of them. And he was pissed. And again, he just assumed it was black people who had done that. When he was first running, part of the family just thought it truly was a branding exercise, and he didn't think he was going to win. And perhaps he didn't want to win. It was about getting his brand out there. And he did win. And we didn't think he could do much damage. This was new. I mean, he knows the wheels of politics, but certainly didn't think things would turn out the way they did. And now the reason I am endorsing Kamala Harris is things have gotten to a level of craziness that is unacceptable. And I firmly believe that our freedoms are on the line. And Kamala Harris is the only one standing between his divisiveness and rolling back freedoms and democracy.
The man already went on TV himself and said, now that I'm in an orange jumpsuit, an inmate suit, black people can relate to him.
The black people are so much on my side now because they see what's happening to me happens to them. The mugshot, we've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The black population. It's incredible. You see black people walking around with my mugshot. I'm being indicted for you, the black population.
What are you saying? This man, it's what's coming out of his mouth. It has nothing to do with left or right, this or that, right or wrong. Really, you gotta think about it. I'm not for CNN more than I'm for MSN or Fox, or they gonna spin stuff. Everybody gonna spin stuff according to the way they want it to go. Republicans gonna spin things the way they want it to go. Democrats, they're gonna spin things the way they want it to go. But listen, independents, they're gonna swing things the way they want it to go. But listen, I'm paying attention, and you should pay attention to what's coming out of their mouth.
You could say politically correct that the look doesn't matter, but the look obviously matters. Like you wouldn't have your job if you weren't beautiful.
Any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined. Any Jewish person that votes for her, especially now, her or the Democrat Party, should have their head examined. If any senior doesn't vote for Trump, we're going to have to send you to a psychiatrist to have your head examined.
Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again.
If you are sitting there listening to somebody say, I ain't no good, I'm a bigot, I'm a rapist, I don't care, I can do what I want to do, I'm going to attack people, yeah, I'm a lie, and I don't care if you know I'm lying, I'm a lie just to make sure that people do what I need them to do. This is how they talking out of their mouth.
If I have to create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana.
Vance and Trump, out of their mouth. The facts. Forget about the fact check. Forget about the system. Forget about the narrators and commentators and all that. The real facts is what's coming out of their mouths. Out of their mouths, people. Trump is telling you who he is. That's why some people like him. Oh, well, at least he tell the truth. But listen to the truth that he's telling. Corrupt. He is corrupt. I'm sorry. Don't get caught up in this game. because it's not. It's not a game. It is not a game. Pay attention. Listen to what all the parties are saying. This side is all talking about, well, I should say that side because they call it left. I don't know why left. They left and they right. But anyway, this side is saying, oh, I'm for this. I'm ready to lower the taxes. I'm ready to make, everybody whole. I'm ready to do this as a nation and together. I believe we have a great nation. We still can have a great nation. I believe we want to take care of our allies and we want to go against terrorism and all of the bad things. And I'm for lowering the prices in the stores and gouging and all this stuff. And then this is what they're coming out of their mouth. Whether they're telling the truth or not, right? But this is what we can hold them to because they said it. National television, live, everywhere, debates. And then you got the other side that's telling you nothing about what they're going to do except for corrupt things, except for negative things, except for bigotry, except for, bribery. I honestly think that a lot of people is not going against certain individuals simply because that individual has information on them. They frequent each other. They dance together. They go out together. They hang out together. Their kids probably go to the same schools. I don't know. But would you go against me if I had you in my resorts and hotels and I got cameras and audio devices all over the place? I got cameras, audio devices all over the place. I'm recording everything you do. I know things about you nobody don't know. In secret, behind closed doors. My doors. Are you going to go against me? I don't think so. People are genuinely good. From my understanding, most people are genuinely good. But are you going to open your mouth against me if I can pull out a photo of you in a compromising situation? Ruin your whole career, which ruins your whole life, your kids' lives. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to open the book. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to come up against it unless they're God-fearing. Number one. Then they're not going to worry about it. If they're conscious, if they're good people, you're going to do the right thing. You're going to do the right thing. And like I said, Vance is only doing this to advance. That's it. When he wasn't the next runner-up, he was all against Trump. He wasn't the runner-up. He was against Trump. Now, they're willing to sleep with each other. They're willing to lay down and eat with each other. Side with each other for the goal. There you go. One wants to be the tyrant and control the world. The other one wants to be the runner-up. He wants to be the runner-up. He wants to come behind the next president of the United States. And they want immunity, people.
The Supreme Court will address the historic question of presidential immunity. Without presidential immunity, the president cannot function, as his political opponents will blackmail and extort him with the threat of wrongful persecution at every turn, including when he leaves office. They're going to say, you don't give us this, whether it's for taxes or military or anything, we're going to go get you because we're allowed to now, because you wouldn't have immunity. We're going to get you after you leave office. It literally would be blackmail. We look forward to presenting our case in the Supreme Court. It's going to be one of the most important cases because without presidential immunity, you have nothing. You don't have a president. You have just a ceremonial position, and we can't have that. A president has to be strong, has to be powerful, has to make good decisions. But if you don't have presidential immunity, if you don't have a strong form of immunity, you're not going to have anything. You're not going to have a president that can function. It's not going to work. It would never work. Everybody assumes that a president has immunity. A president has to have immunity, or he cannot or she cannot function. If a president doesn't have immunity, he or she will be nothing more than a ceremonial president, rarely having the courage to do what has to be done for our country and to make our country great again. This is not what the founders had in mind at all. This is not what they wanted to think about. This is not where they wanted us to be.
The founders wanted the president to have immunity so the president can feel free to make decisions. Hopefully, there'll be great decisions, but whether they are or not, a president of the United States has to have immunity.
They want immunity. Why? You know when people, most of the time when people want immunity? When they did something wrong. Hello? What did you do? Why do you need this thing? Exclusive immunity. They want to be able to basically go out in the middle of the street and just, pow, pop some, just, and get away with it.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay?
They want to know that they can do anything in the world without any reprimand, without any disciplinary actions, without any consequences. This is what they want. If I was a criminal and I wanted to tell on somebody, I said, I'll give you information on them, or I wanted to tell you what I did back in the days. I'll tell you what I did. I'll show you where I buried this body. Or I'll tell you where I hid the money or the crimes that I committed. I'll let you know, but I need immunity. I mean, I know I don't have a lot of time, and I got into this thing late, but I have been talking to people.
Pardon us for the interruption. Mr. Wooden has a call coming in. We're going to take this call. Hopefully they're going to chime in on what we already started. So stand by, folks.
Yes, ma'am. You okay? Yeah, I'm over here trying to do a podcast about Trump. And okay, I'm just listening. I appreciate that. You're actually on the show right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we said, hell no, we won't go.
I like that. I didn't hear that one. I heard that we ain't going back, but hell no, we won't go.
Your sister on the phone.
Hey, what's up, sis?
Hey, how are y'all?
Oh wow, this is crazy. I got two sisters on the phone. Now, I'm from the world. Whenever somebody wanted immunity, it was somebody that was in a criminal mindset. It was somebody that was in the criminal world. Somebody that needed to be freed from something, from judgment, if they revealed things or gave up information or did something. So that tell you right there, why does this man need that? What is it that you did or gonna do that caused you to have total immunity? The intention gotta be you're speaking all of these tyrant and dictatorship stuff. You're speaking about attacking people as soon as you get into power. You're speaking about, or you're either speaking it or you're not. You're not saying what you're doing, what you're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have nothing to be held accountable for.
I have a question. How is it possible that a convicted felon is running for president, but convicted felons are having such a hard time trying to vote?
Yo, my wife said...
Oh, God, so many stipulations.
Yeah.
Put it like that.
My wife said they can't even get regular jobs. Hello? Regular jobs. And they got this guy going and running for president.
It's dead ass wrong for him to be able to run for president,
right?
But they treating convicted felons the way they treat them. That's
Exactly. Yeah, it's sickening, and this is why I wanna speak on it. Because most of the people that I do talk to, they're not even watching it. I have to comment on certain things and say, did you hear when he said this about black people? They can identify with him because he now a criminal and he got on an orange jumper. What are y'all looking at? But you sitting around acting like you don't know what to do. Why the hell you think you don't know what to do? You ain't even woke. You ain't even listening. You ain't paying attention. One guy told me
that they gave us to give out to the people that we were registering to vote, said that this joker loves the way either China or Asia was handling their felons. He's pushing for the death penalty for drug dealers. Are you crazy?
Yeah, he is crazy.
Not the death penalty for people, for murderers, convicted murderers.
Right.
You want to do give the death penalty to drug dealers. Knock it off.
Wow.
That's not too extreme. That's what I keep telling some of these guys. Y'all let that joker in office if you want to.
Yeah, he playing on people's emotions. Any vote he can get, he gonna get it any way he can.
You have to choose the lesser of the two evils.
Right.
If you feel like you don't like these particular points or you don't like these particular points, which points benefit you the most?
Mm-hmm. The thing is,
I tell some of the females, your kids in Head Start, yeah. You get food stamps,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you know that Head Start here in Georgia is in Sandersville is free.
Okay.
Head Start is free. Do you know that if Trump gets in office, you won't be getting any food stamps anymore?
Right.
And your kids won't be in Head Start. These free programs that they offering us that they act like, you know, belong to them. All these free programs we get in food stamps or benefits, you know, all that low income housing, all of that stuff that we're getting now, you won't get if Trump is in office.
No, it's sickening. The man is a monster. And they also be complaining, and me and my wife was talking about it, about Kamala not being able to make things happen while she was vice president. She was vice president. Right now, that's a whole different thing. Vice presidents don't make the decisions. Vice presidents support it. The president is what runs the country and what says, this is what I'm going to sign. The vice president don't sign the bills and this, that, and the other. So right now, she's being put in a position where she can make a difference. So whatever you claiming she didn't do then, she now have the ability to do.
When she's Madam President, then she'll be able to do that.
Right. It's not her place right now. She's doing what she can. And she did a lot more than you.
About the part that even when Obama was elected, he barely could get a lot of shit done because if you have at least some civics 101 class in middle school, you know that there's a House and a Senate, and they can't do everything. They can make some executive orders, but he barely could do anything. That little bit of shit that we got out of him was amazing because it was they refused to.
It was tying his hands. It was tying his hands.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Anything he wanted to do, they stopped doing.
Yeah, but back to that abortion thing, like, mind your goddamn business about what's happening with my body.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah.
Who the freak are you to tell us what to do with our body?
How about we start cutting some off?
That's what I said.
Oh, don't talk like that. That hurt.
Yeah,
that hurt.
That hit a nerve, didn't it?
Right. Yeah. Somebody need to say that.
Yeah.
We need to do it.
Yeah. You want to tell me what to do with my reproductive organs? I should be able to have control over your testicle.
And you know what's going to happen? You know, and this is just evident. People, you just got to think about it. If they decided to keep that going, you're going to have all these little young girls out here who still can't control themselves. And because once you get touched, it's like you touched for life. And they're going to have these babies and they can't go get nothing done about it. And it's going to be dead babies all over the place. People that's having their own. They're not even thinking.
How about that? Yeah, it's going to be people giving themselves abortions and all kinds of stuff, or having babies when they didn't want to have babies.
Right.
Lord Jesus, please don't go back to the metal hand. Please just don't do that.
People having incest and they family raping them and they still got to go through it. That's ridiculous. Listen, hello. Hello, ladies.
Yes.
I wanted to thank my uninvited guests.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in. And thank you for coming right in and getting on subject. We thank you. And I also want to thank my viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't let this be your last time. And let everyone know about this podcast, When the System Fell. Share this, please. You also can be a caller. Call in and give us your input on when the system failed you. And let's talk about it. Remember, the show is called When the System Fails. So you can call in with anything you want to talk about, this subject, any subject, okay? And share this podcast. Share this story, because, baby, we just getting started. Again, share this, and go vote. Go vote. Please, grab a friend. Go vote. We need it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and God bless.